Good morning from Dubai. I'm walking back home after a meeting, and I've been thinking about the 7 days of meditation retreat with Joe Dispenza, and I've had a bunch of people ask me to make a video explaining what I learned and hopefully imparting some of his absolute magical wisdom onto all of you. So firstly, there were 1,400 people there from 90 different countries, everything from 9-year-olds to 90-year-olds, every religion, everything, every type of person was there. We meditated from sort of 4 hours a day, actually 6 hours a day to 9 hours a day, one of the days. And Joe Dispenza single-handedly entertained, educated, made us laugh and cry, meditated us from sometimes 6 in the morning and sometimes 4 in the morning till 6 in the evening, and alone by himself on stage, which was just mind-blowing to watch somebody hold the attention. You could hear a pin drop when you were speaking. So besides that, and just a quick sort of brief on his teachings in a very summary kind of way. Our bodies are energy-saving machines. In other words, the minute they can habituatize something or make something a habit, they do, because they want to save as much energy as possible. So for example, the way we drive, the way we get from point A to point B, the way we work sometimes, it's all a part of a habit that our brains have created a state of energy saving. Now what happens is that many times, once you have created a habit, you store it in your body. So your body then becomes an intelligent machine, or it is an intelligent machine. But what it does, it then becomes the decision-making process. Your body becomes the decision-making process where it reacts automatically, so you don't have to think. So you can actually conserve energy, because that's what our brains do, really, you know. So now what happens is, not only is it in driving cars or the way we engage with people that we've created habits, but it's actually in the emotions we have. And our bodies have now become addicted to feeling certain types of emotions when certain situations are brought up. So anxiousness, anger, resentment, all the sort of negative emotional states that our bodies have now become used to having, because that's what's been happening to us for years and years and years, now become an automatic response to the world around us. And this is what his first book or second book is about, breaking the habit of being you. It's because the you that we are is just a set of habits that have been created by us to save energy. Now, it's incredibly hard to get yourself out of this mindset to even firstly realize that these are habits. They're not actually you making the decision. Your body is making a decision on your behalf because it wants to save energy. So what you have to do is you have to go into the quantum field, into your subconscious, into theta brain waves, which is what he does in his meditations, is put you into a state of theta. And in the state of theta, you're now able to redesign your habits. You're able to redesign the way you respond to the world rather than react. And so all these meditations take about 20 minutes or so to put you into what he calls nobody, nowhere, no time, where you dissolve as your current self in order to reprogram yourself to choose your response to the world rather than react. And if you're not able to get into your quantum fields, you then aren't able to design the reality you want into 3D reality that we're in right now. And he moves you into a 5D, as he calls it, where you get this opportunity to redesign your reality from a quantum field perspective rather than from a matter to matter perspective. It's so complex, but the way he explains it really gets you to understand why you need to be meditating twice a day, an hour a day at a time, so that you can get to the position of unlearning these learned behaviors so that you can start choosing how to respond rather than react. Now, it's mostly blissful But I had an incredibly tough time. Day 2, 3, and 4, I was incredibly aggravated, frustrated, hating the world. And I was even thinking to myself, how weird. I'm a meditation retreat, but I'm just hating things. And what he explains is just like trying to tame a stallion, not that I'm a stallion, but he used the example, that when you're trying to tame a wild stallion, he or she, obviously he bucks and doesn't want to be tamed. And so what happens is that the residue of your habits, the residue of the way you used to think, the residue of your old patterning doesn't want to give up power. And so what you do is you fight it, and your aggression comes to the forefront, your anger comes to the forefront, your judgmentalness comes to the forefront, because it doesn't want to let go of the habits that it's become addicted to. And eventually you break through, and I did. I broke through day 5 and day 6. I broke through, and it was such a release of emotions and now I'm elated. I've almost like broken through the ceiling of it. But all in all, and in summary, what we have to realize is that we have created a set of habits, a set of reactions rather than responses. And these reactions have now become our daily life. The way we live out our daily lives is almost in robotic manner, in a reactive manner. And what we have to do is get into a state of theta brainwaves. And in the state of theta brainwaves, we can redesign, recalibrate, and reprogram ourselves so that we become more ourselves and less the programming. And boy, does it take work, because remember, it's taken you years and years and years and years, however old you are, to get to who you are right now. The programming that you have right now is based on years and years and years and years of practice. And so what you have to do is you have to go through years and years and years and years of unpracticing and unlearning. And all these meditations do that exactly, to get your mind out your body and then to reprogram your mind and your consciousness so that you can be more loving, more kind, just more generous and more collaborative. And we say we want to, most of us, but somehow we don't. And that's because we're stuck in habits of scarcity, in habits of selfishness. And we have to get out of the way of ourselves in order to create who we want to be and how we want to show up. It was my 3rd meditation retreat. I am so incredibly privileged to have the finances and the time to want to actually even attend one of these. I'm already planning the next one, and this time I'm taking my mom and dad with me as a gift to them, because there were people there in wheelchairs, with stage 4 cancer, with all sorts of illnesses that were being healed. Why? Because people were able to go into a state of theta, remind themselves of how whole and loving they are, break the habit of who they were, and they come out of there healed. It's quite a simple idea. I mean, sometimes it sounds like a charismatic church of sorts, but it's not that at all. It's much more the understanding that our diseases, our sicknesses, and our realities are created by quantum fields that we have been programming. And all we have to do is get into those fields and unprogram them through the process of meditation and theta brainwave states. Hope that makes sense. I urge you all to read his stuff, watch his stuff, and try and attend one of his workshops. He's a phenomenal man. I feel emotional thinking about how special it is to spend 7 days with 1,400 people from around the world that are dancing, celebrating, and an absolute love and awe of who they are, of who we are. It's just like it's who we're supposed to be. The default button of anxiousness and scarcity and competition it's bullshit. It's ridiculous if you actually think about it. It doesn't help the bigger picture at all in any way, you know. Anyway, tomorrow I go to Azerbaijan. For the first time, I'm visiting a city called Baku, and I'll be there for 2 days, and I'll try and make some videos from there. Ciao from Dubai.